is Evenstar and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be building Aino. Finally, it's been a long journey, but I finally decided to build Aino. Mainly because I looked at my teams and I realized I needed someone to go with my Colombina. So I decided to build Aino. And I really like her character. She's super cute. I love her aesthetic. So yeah, let's get into the video. Well, I figured it would be best to first see where my Aino is at currently. She's at level 20 out of 40. And her weapon, I'm using an event weapon at R5. I believe this was a Natlin event. Just because everyone said this was the best weapon for her. Same with the artifact set, everyone said that Silken Moon was best for her. And I've picked some pieces out. For her sands, I'm using one that Llama originally had, but I got a better one for her. So she's holding on to that for now. I do end up changing her artifact set at the end, if I'm being honest, because my rolls were not great. Here I have her at C1. I'm hoping to get more constellations of her. And for talents, I don't have anything leveled up yet. I will be focusing on her burst as well as her skill. Mainly just for the hydro application. So starting out on day 1, I don't want to use too much resin on her that I have collected. So we will be fighting her boss first to level her up. Her boss is Knuckle Duckle, which I think is really cute. It was a bit annoying to fight, but I do really like this boss. And this is the team that I'm going to be using her on. I have Flynn's as the main DPS, and then Auroran for the energy recharge, and Colombina for her buff, and then Aino. And I think this is a really good team. I think you could use Sucrose instead of Aino in this team, but I really like Aino and her character, and I needed the hydro element more, so I decided Aino was the best option. And this team is really great. I do so much damage with my Flynn's. I think he averages now 205,000 K, which is insane to me because I'm free to play, so I oftentimes don't get those big of numbers, but he is one of those characters that you can build and it's super easy. He was already doing like way more than 100k right when I got him pretty much, and I had like a random build put on him. So I honestly highly recommend getting Flynn's. He's such a great character and he just does a lot of damage. So yeah. And I'm also really excited to build Aino. At first I wasn't, because I was just like, there's no reason for her. Like I don't really want to build her. There's so many other characters that I want to build, but I decided to finally build her, and she's probably like one of my best 4 stars now that I have fixed up her artifact set. Now here we are after finishing fighting her boss and leveling her up. I was actually really happy here because I had a lot of the materials already for her since I explored Notcry completely, as well as I was farming for a bunch of other Notcry characters, so I had a lot of the materials on hand, which was really great. Except for the fragments. Those things always get me when I'm building a character. Here it was because I was building Colombina just right before this, so I decided to craft some more. Now here I am back after crafting more fragments and leveling her up. I was able to level her up to level 70, which I think was pretty good considering that I didn't really have to farm anything other than her boss. And here I am collecting the free wishes. Next, I decided to work on her weapon. I usually go in the same order when building characters, and you'll notice that later in the video. I remember when this weapon came out, the event, and everyone was really confused on who the heck this was for, because the only person that can use this other than Aino is Kaveh. It's not like the greatest weapon, I'd say, with it being only 2 characters that can really use it and take advantage of it. Also, I know what you're gonna say. Yes, I have a lot of 3-star weapons. I don't question it. I just like to keep them there. Okay? You never know when I might need one, since I am free to play. I probably should get rid of some, but we'll leave them alone for now. I usually run out of enchantment ore oftentimes when building characters, so I'm always very worried that I won't have enough. So I try to make sure and make some every time I'm at the blacksmith. And oh my gosh, you guys, farming this weapon was so annoying. The enemy for this is the burnished shell mountain weasels that you find in Natland, and there's very few of them, and they're so annoying to fight. Luckily though, I was able to get her weapon to level 70 as well. Now here we are working on her talents. I first started off with her burst. I think her burst is super cute. It's a little duckling, hatchling. It's really adorable. It splashes out water. I really love her character and the overall design. I think she's super cute. I had to craft more of her materials, but I had a lot, so it was fine. I also really like her skill. I think it's really different than what normal characters have usually. I like how it kind of reaches out and it's like this claw that almost looks like a tail. It's really interesting. And I kind of wish it had a wider range though. It's kind of short, which makes sense, but I tend to miss the enemies with her skill. So here I was able to get both her burst and skill to level 6, which I think was really great for the first day. Next up is her artifact set. Now I decided to do her feather first for rolling. This is probably the best artifact that I got on her, at least on camera. usually really unlucky with crit rate and crit damage, so I was kind of shocked that I went into crit damage 3 times. That's good for me. Next up, I decided to do her flower, which I do believe this one I end up putting on Lauma because I got a lot of EM on it. Halfway through this video, I do end up realizing that I was building her incorrectly for the team that I was using. So a bit frustrating, but I do end up fixing her at the end, and I will showcase her damage that she does. So this is where we're at day 1. She is level 70. And obviously her ratio needs a bit of work, but also level 70 for the weapon. Some of her artifacts are done. C1 and then 6 and 6, which I think is a pretty good start for day 1. Welcome back to day 2 now of building Aino. So let's get straight into it. I first decided that I wanted to get her to level 80 at least, but then I realized I need everything, all her materials to level her up. So I realized this was going to be a bit of a longer journey, which is okay. But again, I decided to do her boss first, as I normally do, and collect as many as I can. Here I am collecting one of her materials. I was really grateful that both Aino and Flynn's have it where you can see where the materials are on the map. I really love Nodcry, guys. I think it's my favorite region. Just the overall aesthetic. Like, I genuinely enjoy farming for different materials and collecting stuff. Just because of the overall aesthetics of Nodcry, I really enjoy it. Finally, this is her last material she needs. Unfortunately, I did need to farm it a bit. Ignore the fact that my Flynn's almost died there. I think this is my new favorite team that I have. I just really enjoy Nodcry characters. Not only because it's meta, but just their overall aesthetics I really love. And I've been waiting for Columbina for years. So I'm super glad that I got her. Finally, here I am leveling her up to level 80. I decided that 80 was good for now. A lot of my 4 stars are at 80 instead of 90. Just because I like to save as much materials as I can. Next up, we have her talents, which I've decided to just level up her burst to level 8 for now. I don't really mind this ratio, it's not that bad. It's normally what I do for a lot of my 4-star characters as well when I'm trying to save materials. Next up is her artifacts. I decided to finish off this flower of hers, which again, I end up using this piece on Loma because it's not that bad actually. But this is when I started to realize that I needed a ER build on my Aino and not an EM one. You want EM for her Bloom team, but since here I'm using her on a Lunar Charge team, I didn't really need that much EM, but I really needed an ER on her. So I do end up switching out a lot of these artifacts. Lastly, I was able to get her weapon to level 90 after farming a bunch of her materials for it. This is my Aino build. She's currently at level 80. 46 over 164, which is actually pretty good. 176 for energy recharge. And 46 hydro damage. And then have this weapon at her, R5, level 90. And here are some of the artifacts that I got on her that I end up switching out. All of these are actually really good. I'm actually really happy with this build and how it turned out. All crit rate and crit damage on her. So I was really lucky. And then I did end up pulling and getting her at C2. So I'm also happy about that. And then I decided to keep her talents the same for now. I might level up her skill later. Here I am now, showcasing the team as a whole. And I don't know who made this game, but you're amazing. I use this game all the time now when I'm building characters and I want to know how much damage they do. So it's really great. I really recommend it. And also, again guys, this is probably my favorite team considering how much damage I do. And here we are at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. It means so much to me. I know that I do have some more subscribers, so thank you guys so much. It means so much to me. You guys don't understand. I love making videos and I'm really excited to continue this. I know that it's been a while since I last posted, but I have been super busy, and also I've been having some audio issues, so let me know if there's anything I can improve upon. I love you guys so much, and thank you again. Bye!